Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here, and I'm going to hit you with a couple of newsy things leading up to Chucky's release next week here. First thing you need to know is they are outing the newsletter again. If you aren't signed up, you should get signed up for it. Get ready for the Dead by Daylight Chucky chapter. Subscribe to the newsletter by November the 27th at 5 p.m. to receive 100,000 blood points in your inbox on November 28th. Follow the link and scroll down to access the sign-up form. I'll have this link here in the description of the video or the first pinned comment so you can sign up. I know a lot of people turn their nose up at 100,000 points. It isn't worth it. But once you are signed up for these newsletters, then you're going to continue to get all the benefits from them over and over again. And if you are already signed up, it says here, already subscribed. No need to do it again, but make sure your communication preferences are enabled. That just means just ticking the box that you are permitting them to send you emails. Next thing is Dead by Daylight is asking for to be nominated for the Labor of Love for the Steam Awards this year. We're 7 years in and we couldn't have made it this far into the fog without our community. We're looking forward to exploring more of the entity's realm with all of you. Nominate Dead by Daylight in the Labor of Love category for the Steam Awards here. And you know, I gotta say, normally I see a lot of pushback on Twitter against the company. Of course, there's always going to be those outliers there who are the negative Neds who always have something bad to say. But there's been a lot of love this year. A lot of love for what's happened in Dead by Daylight this year and the transparency that the game has had with the community and the things that the game seems to be listening to, that the community has been pushing for. And you even see some of those vocal critics, content creators of Dead by Daylight who are supporting the award this year. So I think that says a lot. So I'll have the link there if you want to contribute for the nomination for that. And then they have a blurb here that says, join us next Tuesday for our Dead by Daylight Chucky live stream at 11 a.m. for an in-depth look at our new best friend. So normally the new patch would come out at 11 a.m. They may be delaying it a bit to have the live stream first. So I'm going to go ahead and watch the live stream and then we'll see what they have to say. I'll have a live stream watch party if you want to watch that alongside with me. And then we'll get into that content on Tuesday the 28th. I'll most likely have some DLC keys to give away. So if you're watching the stream, you'll be able to participate in those giveaways. And yeah, so we'll find out what they have to say about Chucky on the day of release there. And then they are going to finish it off with this article here. What if we gave the killer a third-person camera? Go behind the scenes and find out how the Dead by Daylight team brought Chucky into the fog. So let's go ahead and read through this here. Dead by Daylight introduces a third-person camera for Chucky. Chucky is officially coming to Dead by Daylight, marking the arrival of another legendary horror character to the roster, and he's officially the first killer to feature a third-person camera. It's been a long time coming, and we know the good guy has been among the most requested characters from our community. Understandably so. He's an iconic killer, and Dead by Daylight's roots derive from the slasher genre. I can't say enough about that. Like, you know, I know there are people who are happy with Pyramid Head from Silent Hill and the Resident Evil content, but what first brought me to this game was the idea of having those iconic slashers from the 80s in Dead by Daylight, 70s and 80s, with Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, etc., etc. So, like, that was the foundation that this game was built on for me. And with Alien and now Chucky, I'm just happy to see them return to those roots. I can't say enough about that, because I personally feel like that's the game's roots and that's what it was built on, and I'm happy to see them return to that. Okay, despite the demand, there were challenges in bringing Chucky to the fog, primarily due to size-related challenges with both the first-person camera and the core mechanics like hooking survivors. Fortunately, Dead by Daylight's killer design team, in collaboration with Universal Products and Experiences, were determined to find a way. Size isn't everything. Being that he's a killer doll, Chucky's size is considerably smaller than the other killers, which made the act of hooking a bit trickier than expected. How's the good guy supposed to put survivors on the hook? And with many obstacles standing taller than Chucky's height, the first-person camera would make it exceptionally difficult to track survivors mid-chase. We've always known players wanted to see Chucky in the fog. He's a horror legend. Words are hard, sorry. He's a horror legend after all, but the size issue wasn't always believed to be an insurmountable hurdle, so we thought, enter an interesting design question. What if we gave the killer a third-person camera? The solution certainly made sense. While there is precedent for a shorter character in the twins' Victor, it was clear that using a first-person camera for Chucky would open the door to numerous balance complications. For example, a taller killer can see survivors over waist-high loops, whereas Chucky would not. Not only that, playing the entire trials at such a low camera angle sounded like an unpleasant and dizzying experience. The primary challenge was visibility. We needed to ensure players could see enough to play comfortably, unimpeded by tall grass or lower obstacles. At the same time, we had to make sure he didn't have drastically better situational awareness than other killers. We spent an inordinate amount of time tweaking the camera values to find the ideal balance, says Jason Guzzo, game designer. Once it was decided that we would feature a third-person camera for Chucky, the killer design team got to work. The primary challenge was visibility, notes Jason. We needed to ensure players could see enough to play comfortably, unimpeded by tall grass or lower obstacles. At the same time, we had to make sure he didn't have drastically better situational awareness than other killers. Wait a minute. What? Oh, that line is in there twice. Okay. Took me a minute to catch on. From there, every decision had to consider the third-person camera, as that was on the table right from the start. Once playtesting began, we had to split our attention between ensuring the gameplay felt in line with the Chucky character, while also ensuring the camera was as polished as possible. As far as hooking, carrying, and interrupting survivors, the teams ultimately decided that the spirit of Charles Lee Ray in his human form would be able to handle those duties. I think that's an amazing choice. I thought if they ever did this, that they were going to go through a voodoo route where Chucky would just use the power of voodoo to do all of these things, transporting survivors. And, you know, the ghost of Charles Lee Ray isn't like against that idea, but I think it is a very cool visual to have the ghost of Charles Lee Ray doing all of the survivor handling duties. And you could also make the argument that you're seeing through Charles Lee Ray eyes as if he is standing above Chucky with that third-person camera view. I think it is a really cool idea. And I certainly hope that with the Tiffany, the legendary cosmetic, or maybe visceral cosmetic that they have for Tiffany, Chucky's girlfriend, that they'll have Tiffany Valentine, as played by Jennifer Tilly. Her ghost will do the handling duties on that side. I think it'll be a real miss if Charles is the survivor handler when playing Tiffany. So I hope that they have Tiffany through and through for all of that. Channeling Chucky. With the camera settled, how did the design team ensure that Chucky's gameplay remained true to his character? For starters, I watched the movies and the TV series, reflects Jason. I'd seen most of it before, but it was a great excuse to revisit and take a lot of notes. And from there, with the team at Universal Products and Experiences, we established the experience pillars, which are things the player should feel when playing as or against the killer. While Chucky is certainly brutal, racking up a considerable kill count throughout the course of the films and the TV series, he's also undeniably hilarious. Intimidating and crude to be sure, but so damn funny. It was integral to capture the darkly comedic element of his character, which demanded the vocal talents of Brad Dourif, who was the original voice actor for the foul-mouthed doll. Having Chucky enter the fog after fans have been asking for years is something to behold, says John Melchior, executive producer of Universal Games and Digital Platforms. We were honored to bring back the original voice actors for Chucky and Tiffany to elevate the authenticity for fans of the famous killer doll. While reprising his role in Dead by Daylight, Dourif recorded new original lines that are sure to get the blood pumping. The results speak for themselves. Chucky is an incredibly unique killer that will place players in the third person for the first time ever, granting a new experience on tracking down, chasing, and terrorizing survivors. If that sounds up your alley, you might have just met your next best friend until the end. I can't wait for this content to come out. I'm expecting that Dead by Daylight will probably put out a blog in a day or two to let us know what to expect. on any changes that they made from the public test build version of Chucky to what we will see on release day. I'm interested to see if they made any changes to him. But all in all, I'm very excited for this chapter. I think a lot of people are, and they're very surprised at not only his announcement, but how he plays and the design decisions that were made. I think it's a real coup for the team. I don't want to say it's a perfect chapter, because I think a lot of us wish that there was like a toy factory map to go along with Chucky and that he wasn't a standalone killer. I've seen a lot of people say that they wish adult Andy was in it too. But, you know, it's a we'll take what we can get kind of thing. And just having Chucky and Tiffany in the game, I think, is super exciting. But what do you think? I'm always curious to hear your thoughts on all of this. Looking forward to release day. Let me know in the comments below what you think about all of this. As always, I appreciate the time you spend here with me on my channel. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to take care of each other in and out of the fog, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life